The last thing Dr. Elias Vane saw was the deer's eyes. They were wide, wild, reflecting his headlights. Then came the screech of tires, the shattering of glass, and the hiss of the airbag. It deployed with a thundering clap, striking his temple at a lethal angle. And power. The world went black in an instant. The very thing designed to ensure his survival was the thing that sent him to meet his maker. He was declared dead upon the paramedics' arrival. Half his brain was pulverized, the other half intact but useless. But before the autopsy could begin, his body vanished. The theft was never solved. A mystery forever. In a forgotten warehouse on the city's edge, a man who called himself the reincarnation of Prometheus worked in silence. His eyes lit with an unsettling, burning fire, and his hands moved with divine precision and purpose. He claimed no hereditary, no past, only that he had once given fire to man and had paid the price. Now he would give something greater. On a table lay a mechanical exoskeleton with a silicon shell, shiny, humanoid, and cold. Its skull was open, eagerly waiting. Prometheus placed within the hollow skull 4 fragments of human brains: a suicidal poet, a convicted murderer, a saintly humanitarian, and the largest piece being the genius biologist, Elias Vane. Prometheus attached metal wires to the body. Lights started flickering. The machine loudly started whirring, yet difficult to hear over the mad scientist's manic laughter. Its eyes flickered open, glowing faintly blue. It sat up, confused and shaking.
Who am I? What am I?
You are Aethon, a vessel of fire, a gift, a curse.
Aethon's hands trembled. He looked at his reflection in a steel panel. Perfectly symmetrical, flawless skin, eyes that shimmered with conflicting memories and values. A walking paradox.
I don't want this. I shouldn't exist. My very existence is a nightmare.
He tried to end himself that night, leaping from rooftops, stepping into fire, even placing his head beneath a hydraulic press. Nothing worked. His body would not break.
You gave me this shell? Why?
Because the gods hoard immortality, I stole it again and gave it to you.
I didn't ask for it.
No one ever does.
Inside Aethon, he was engulfed by rage, conflicting feelings, a war with his own values, or rather the values of his body's new roommates. The poet longed for silence, for the sweet release of death. The murderer whispered of blood and power, of vengeance against a world that had caged him. The saint pleaded for the purpose to serve, to heal, to be a guide. And Elias sought truth, acceptance, and understanding in the logistics of his new form. His mind owned the largest fraction of the body, so he took control. Aethon began to study himself. He petitioned governments, universities, and ethics boards. He wanted to be examined, to understand the nature of his shell, his mind, his soul, his very existence. He stood before the United Nations, his voice calm, but his presence terrifying.
I am not a weapon. I am a question.
The world watched. Some called him a miracle, others an abomination. Protests erupted. Churches declared him a sign of the end times. Scientists begged for access. Nations debated whether he should be destroyed or preserved. Through it all, Elias held on. But the mental strength was immense. Every decision was a negotiation. Every thought, a battlefield. Every move was conflicted by the rest of his mind. His skin would not burn. His mind, however, began to crack, brain slowly fragmenting as it previously was. Elias faltered, and in that moment of weakness, the murderer presented himself forwards. One night, as he stood on top of a skyscraper, staring at the stars, the poet's voice grew louder than ever.
Let go. Let it end.
Elias faltered, and in that moment of weakness, the murderer presented himself forwards. Elias has hijacked. He had fought to be in control too long, and the immense strain to stay awake caught up with him. He fainted and the murder was in power. The massacre was swift and brutal. A family in a quiet suburb, gone. The police arrived, then SWAT. None survived. Bullets bounced off Aethon's shell. Grenades left only scorch marks. He tore through them like paper. It was not a fight. It was a stampede. When Elias finally awakened, the floor was thick with blood. Sirens wailed in the distance. Only muffled screaming echoed in his ears. He fell to his knees. He could not sob, only mutter. The world turned. The miracle had become a monster.
What have you guys done? What have I done?
Prometheus watched from the shadows, eyes gleaming, grin large.
You see now, you are not one man. You are many. You are fire, beautiful, destructive, divine.
You made me this way. You cursed me.
I gave you a gift.
You gave me torment.
And what did you give man, Elias? You played God with genes. You rewrote life. You sought immortality in your labs. I merely helped you finish the work you were too afraid to begin. You are awfully ungrateful for a man who dedicated his life to studying life.
Aethon said nothing. He turned and walked away. But he had made a decision. In the weeks that followed, Aethon disappeared. The world hunted him, but he was always 2 steps ahead. He returned to Elias's old lab, hidden beneath layers of security and secrecy. There, he worked. He studied his own shell. He mapped its architecture. He found no crack, no weaknesses. But he found something else, a way to replicate it. He built a second shell. Then he captured Prometheus. The old man laughed as he was shackled to the table.
You think you can punish me? I've endured worse. I've had my liver torn out by eagles for centuries.
I won't be so poetic.
He removed Prometheus's brain and moved it to the new shell, one that would keep the brain alive, aware, and in pain. He forged a spike of tungsten, sharper than any blade. He dug a pit beneath the lab, threw Prometheus's shell in, drove the spike through the new shell's chest, and poured concrete over the hole. Prometheus screamed, or at least he tried to, as concrete filled his mouth, muffling any noise he tried to make.
You gave me immortality. Now I return the favor.
He sealed the pit, but Elias was not finished. He turned inward, searching for a way to end his own existence. The poet rejoiced. The saint wept. The murderer raged.
You're weak. We could have ruled this world. We have infinite power, infinite resistance, endless possibilities. You are weak.
He found it. A flaw, buried deep in the code that governed his cursed body. A failsafe. A way to shut it all down. He stood before a mirror, the final moment upon him.
I don't want to rule. I want peace. I was a man, then a god. Now I choose to be neither.
He pressed the sequence. Darkness. Some say the pit still exists, hidden beneath the ruins of a forgotten lab. Within it, a man who once called himself the reincarnation of Prometheus screams into the void, his liver never healing, his mind never resting. And some say that fire, the fire of knowledge, of ambition, of defiance, still burns within, but no one knows for sure, because the one who carried it chose to let it die.